Hi, and welcome to part 4 of starting a home internet business. Build it and they will come. Now in this section I'd like to talk to you about web design and creating your website. In the previous YouTube videos we've talked about selecting a product, a market. We've talked a little bit about hosting and domains. We've talked about things of that nature, but eventually you've got to create a website because that's how your business will be seen by the public. Now these videos, by the way, are not the entire educational process you'll need to go through to understand how to build a website or even how to get your home business going. There's a lot more to it. And you can find a lot of this information at our website at thenewbiephenomenon.com. There's a trial membership for 99 cents for less than a cup of coffee. You can have a trial membership for 30 days. And there are over 100 different software products, ebooks, etc. that you can download and use. There's no limitation for the 30 days. And then come back often because we add stuff every day. We added something new, within the last hour, and all of these videos will be up there as well. So, and once again, you can come to Newbie Phenomenon. You can also follow me on Twitter. Become a follower, and I'll follow you, and we can interact. And that's a great way. You can ask questions, make comments. That's a great way to learn. And please check me out on YouTube. That's probably what you're looking at right now. And if you like what we've done, please comment on it, rate us, subscribe, and you'll get all the videos. You'll get part 5, 6, 7, whatever. And I don't know how long this is going to go on, but I guarantee you there's going to be several more after this. So anyway, that's the story. We need you to comment and rate us so that other people will take a look at this and learn a little bit. So today we're going to talk about websites. And how do you create a website? Well, there are basically two ways. The first way is they can do it for you, which means you go out and you hire a web designer. Now, you've got to be very careful because anybody can call themselves a web designer. There is no criteria. There is no educational process. Anybody can go buy a web design program, spend some hours doing it, and all of a sudden they call themselves a web designer. They put up their own website and they're done. But you've got to be very careful because most of them will just use templates and make your business fit a template, and it will look like every other business out there. Well, that's not what you want. You want to stand out. You want to be different. You want to be creative. You want your business to be different than the business not only down the street, because down the street is one thing, but on the internet there are millions of websites. So you've got to have your own little creative involvement. Well, if it's a template, that's a problem. So you want to make sure that they are not necessarily fitting you into a template, or that that template can be altered to make your business slightly different. You want it custom designed. Now, to have it custom designed may cost you more money, but in the long run, your business will have that uniqueness that will tend to attract and keep visitors. It's all about keeping visitors on your website. You want to make sure that your website has business-centric features, meaning if you're going to sell products, you need a shopping cart attached to it. If you're going to do surveys, well, you need a design that has surveys attached to it. And there are all kinds of products and features and benefits that you will need. So when you speak to your web designer, you've got to discuss these things and have a little bit of forethought because your business may be new today, but it will grow and you need to be able to add these features. You do not want to be limited. Then, of course, you have cost. Now, as a newbie or if you're starting your own business, cost may be a factor. And websites can go anywhere from hundreds of dollars to tens of thousands of dollars. So you've got to be very careful. Content and maintenance. Who's going to maintain this website? Who will have control of it? Now, in the past video, I mentioned the fact that the domain name that you choose should be always registered in your name. Do not let the web designer have that domain name, because then they control your business. The same thing goes for your website. You want to have that website available to you. You want to have the content available to you, because if this web designer goes out of business, if you don't like this web designer, you don't want to lose your website. You should make sure you have a backup copy at all times. Who will be responsible for maintaining it and adding content? As they say, content is king. If you want to keep people coming back to your website, you've got to be adding new material daily. That's why at the Newbie Phenomenon, we add material, not if daily, but maybe weekly, maybe hourly, depends on what comes across our desk. So if we didn't do that, there would be no reason for people to come back. So you have the same issue no matter what kind of website you have. If you don't keep it up to date, constantly adding content, people will get bored and they will not come back. Well, let's assume now that you want to do it yourself. What do you have to think about? Education. You can't just go out and do it and not educate yourself. There are a certain amount of dues you're going to have to pay to become a little bit knowledgeable. Now, there are a lot of inexpensive, easy ways to do this. It's not all that difficult. If I can do it, you can do it. But the reality is it's going to take a little bit of time. Now, there are benefits to it and obviously disadvantages. There are lots of programs, lots of ways of doing this. We'll show you in a second. There's a program called Composer. It's free, and you can go ahead and download that at composer.com. We also have it available to you at the Newbie Phenomenon, and you can download it, and then you can it's like a WYSIWYG program. It's like using Word, Microsoft Word, or any document processor, and you can go ahead and create your website. Then you can upload it. And in future videos, we're going to talk about FTP and how you do all that kind of stuff. So tune back, come back later on. You'll see how to do it. But anyway, Composer is one way of doing it. Microsoft Office is another way. It's free, and you can actually do it online. Composer is a local thing. You download software, whereas Microsoft Office is a SaaS product. It's software as a service, which means they store it on their website. You do not own the URL, so you've got to be careful. But as a quick, easy solution, if you want to get something up today, that's one way of doing it. Now, they also have certain features, and they're lacking of certain features. You've got to be careful. The hosting companies have SaaS software. Say that fast 10 times. If you go ahead and look at the various hosting companies, they will provide software for you. And if you're hosting your domain there, your domain is owned by you. Therefore, the site is owned by you. So that is a selection. But once again, their features may be limited. You have to check out to see what the features are. Now, another issue with doing it yourself, it's time consuming. Now, I happen to love doing it. I find it very rewarding. I love the fact that you can do something right now and in 10 minutes it's up on the web. I think that's kind of cool. But it is time consuming. You have to love doing it. It gives you total control, which to me is the biggest advantage. There's not a moment in time that I can't make a change in my website. I don't have to call anybody, beg them to do it right now. If I want to make all the colors blue and they were yellow before, I can do it in 10 minutes. So you do have total control, which gives you, it's responsibility. You have to maintain it. The cost can be very little. I mean, my website cost me almost nothing, and yet I've been doing it for 7-8 years. I mean, it's basically my hosting charges. So the rest of it and the products you add to it, because there are lots of things over the years that you will add to your website. But even then, they're very inexpensive. Most of them are available at the Newbie Phenomenon. There are short-term costs and long-term costs. The short-term cost is very little. Long-term, once again, you will be adding new and unique products to it. You're responsible for the content and the maintenance, not necessarily the hosting part of it that your host will do, but the actual content you will have to update yourself. So these are a couple of programs. You have Microsoft Office, Office Live, which is, once again, it's free. It's a wizard, very easy to do, but you do not own the domain, and you're more or less locked into them. They have certain features. They now have, I believe, have a shopping cart. They have things you can do, real easy. Composer is free. You just download it. It's local. It works like a WYSIWYG type of editor. And once again, you have hosting companies like 1&1, which is one of the ones I use, and there they have an entire web builder, and they have all these features. But these features may not be what you need. You've got to check on that. And it walks you through the process, asks you for a name, etc. We're not going to do it here. We don't have the time. But it walks you through the process, and they're all relatively easy to use. It's up to you to decide how you want to do this. That's about all the time I have. In the future, we'll be adding more content, more videos. We'll go into each of these things specifically. But for now, we thank you for tuning in. Check out the Newbie Phenomenon. There's the URL. Remember, only 99 cents. You can't buy a cup of coffee today for 99 cents. Check us out, and we'll see you at the next video. If you like this, by the way, make sure you rate us, comment, and just check us off as a favorite. This way you'll make sure you won't miss the future ones. See you soon.